Hola! Corn shortage news is hitting mainstream media in the US. However, the rest of the world and people in general continue to think that the needed food can be imported from the US or other producing countries. China has just got massive losses of pigs and grains due to the recent round of extreme flooding. Brazil just announced that they are importing 30 shiploads of Argentine corn. And Brazil is the third largest world producer and exporter of corn, yet now they are importing. Hola, from Colombia. With the present great world confusion, I wish to do my part to accelerate the evolution of human consciousness. Please help by subscribing and sharing these videos. Thank you. Looking at this page of corn producing by country, we can see that almost all of the top producers, underlined in red, are now trying to import because of agricultural difficulties. In the province of Henan, China, last week's heavy rains sparked the worst flash floods in centuries, killing at least 71 people. More than 1 million animals died. 1,678 livestock farms were affected, and 712,000 hectares of crops, accounting for 9% of all fall crop area, were affected. We have seen flooding last year in China, in the exact same areas. Here's the question. Where is China going to get the food they need? When you look at agricultural suppliers, Australia's exports are down. United States is atrocious in its wheat and grain production this year. The EU is barely breaking even, and Brazil, with the record cold, are eliminating many of their crops, including corn, wheat, soy, sugar, and coffee. We just sold our last batch of coffee, a small amount because this is the end of the crop. However, the price was almost 3 times what we were receiving in 2019. Looking at this map, put together by David from Adapt 2030, we can see the areas he was calling for crop losses circled in red back in 2017. Now, let's see where that center circle lies. The exact same areas that have flooded and taken out China's food production for the second year in a row. This is an area below the Three Gorges Dam. The central government was forced to release water from the reservoirs by opening up the dams at the same time, in the middle of the night, without warning the people. The amount of flooding is unsurpassed. The government is trying to blame this on a once-in-a-500-year rainstorm and trying to hide the fact that they opened up the dams. The cars in the cities are trying to be boats. This is the flooded city of Henan province. The deluge of water from the skies just continues. Looking at the history of floods in China, in the Hubei province of central China in 1931, there were boats in the street. Here is a picture of the highway running for 3.5 miles under the city, a before and after comparison. This happened in a matter of minutes. Supposedly, there were only 5 people who drowned during the event, according to the Chinese media, with all of those cars trapped. Here is a picture of the factory zone. This is the electrical station underwater. Here are pictures of the collapsed dams. There were 3 of them in total, so far that are known. This water has to go somewhere. Here's a bridge destroyed in Henan. Once the water starts cascading, it simply moves and inundates cropland. Apparently, the rain is not stopping. There is more rain coming in the next few weeks. So, the sky has fallen. Chinese farmers reel after floodwaters devastate pig herds. Everything, as far as you can see, is flooding from Inner Mongolia all the way to the coast. This is a 2.0 from last year. Flood is now a huge issue in China. Let's look at these production maps. First, corn production. The flooded areas are about 15% of all the corn produced in China. However, it gets extreme when one looks at the wheat production. About 40% of all China's wheat production comes from these flood areas. Finally, peanut prices will go up because about 50% of peanut production is affected, and the Chinese love their peanuts. This is a map of the US indicating the corn areas in drought. Approximately 36% of corn production is within an area experiencing drought. Germany is also a major grain producer, and this year it has been hit by unprecedented floods. Here is the corn accumulated export sales. The massive spike is clearly indicating everything that China is buying. Here is just another chart to confirm the facts. China has floods last year in 2020 in the same locations, and look at the spike in imports. Imagine what this will look like in 2021, but only if the US can provide the food. Here's a chart of China's agricultural imports in 2020. Sorghum up 490%, wheat up 137%. The US can't increase its exports this year, so where is China going to get their food? Here we see Kazakhstan limiting their exports of barley and wheat used for animal feed, and completely banning rye exports. Here goes China's other possibility of importing gone. There is no extra food on the planet right now. Let's look at these massive floods in Germany, India, Turkey, and China. They are all producers who are going to be seriously hit by crop losses. David from Adapt 2030 believes the cause is October of 2024, when Earth is going to be between this magnetic sandwich of the four gas giants, Saturn, Jupiter, Uranus, and Neptune, lining up in a configuration that has not occurred since 79 AD. All of the Earth changes happening right now are simply going to continue and intensify till October 2024. The electromagnetic effects are in play in our solar system right now. This explanation may be accurate, yet I believe we are in the midst of this pivotal time where the old world is still apparent as the new divine matter grows within our very bodies. The time has come for the next step of human destiny, the new Eidesic species. Will you choose to align yourself with the divine plan or the satanic plan? Due to my peaceful non-cooperation, I went to prison. I describe my prison experience in my book, True Freedom is Inside of Me. Please visit my bilingual website. The only solution is very simple. I must connect to my true self, my soul. Easy to say, not so easy to do. Please go into action now and make the choice between listening to your ego mendacious mind and the external authorities, or listening to your soul, the internal authority. I consult and offer tools so that you can find your individual solution by making contact with your soul, Your soul will then effectively guide you through the upcoming, long-lasting, turbulent transition. Infinite love.